webinar. And then you're going to click Start Building. All right, now here we are, and we are inside the ClickFunnels, sorry, the lead pages, drag and drop slash just point and click editor, okay? And you'll see there's some similarities. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna click on the content again, and you're gonna start modifying and editing it. So here we're gonna say East Side Community Newsletter presents. I would say presents. Again, you could change the word out. You can interchange the word newsletter for blog. If you're using a blog, if you're using a newsletter, use the word newsletter. And again, include a city or community name. Okay. And then here we go. Now that on for the meat and potatoes of the title, you're going to type in how, all caps, how to sell your East Side home for top dollar without making 7 costly mistakes that steal equity. Okay, as you can see, I'm going for a little bit different name on this one, but it's still referring to the content that we have inside the webinar presentation that you're going to be giving, right? And I might want to change the color of that, so just to something a little bit more playful that'll pop out so it's more visible. That's totally, this is totally optional. You don't have to do this, but I like to do that. And then same thing for East Side Home. But what I want to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to take this color, copy it, so that then when I modify this color, it's the exact same. Okay, there you go. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and keep scrolling down here. I'm going to click claim my spot, and instead of claim my spot now, I'm going to go with yes, I want to sell for top dollar. All right. And again, we're going to go through and just going to change the dates to be accurate. So what happened is that when I just backslashed, it went to minimized and a different font, and I was like, oh man, I want the white font back, right? And just the way it was in the template. So you just go up here and you click this upper arrow, kind of like the function in the Word document that you can do where you go backspace and it basically undoes what you did. So then I'm going to go in here and just type in Thursday in between the letters, backspace the first one, backspace the next ones, and now I've got me Thursday. All right. And now what I'm going to do here, November, nope, we're going to do March. March, enter, and I'm doing 8th. And then the same thing here, I'm editing and modifying the content in here. It's going to be 3, it's going to be 8th. There we go. Just click on that, and now it changes it to March 8th. Fantastic, okay? And again, this is going to be at 1 p.m. Pacific, and I'm not going to even include the Eastern time because again, if you're doing this locally as a local webinar, there's no real reason, as you can imagine, to put Eastern time or different time zone altogether, right? If that makes sense. So what we're going to do now here is we're going to click on this and we're going to click so with lead pages, what's a little bit different is that when you click on this, you don't have to look for manage elements like we did in ClickFunnels. With lead pages, you would just simply click on the picture that you want. So I'm going to use an old school picture of myself that I thought would be fun. Andre Polston. Okay, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to modify this. Such a long name, it won't fit. Okay. Now for this side of it here, we don't want this here, right? Because you're not going to be co-hosted. So you just simply click the delete button and boom, it's gone. And then that's going to promote you to just being the one host for this webinar. Okay. As you can tell, if you went through the ClickFunnels walkthrough, things are looking pretty similar. I'm going to spare you the jokes about how they're how similar they can be. What we're going to do here is now we're going to go over to the social media functions button, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to can that. I'm going to click on the clock. Very much again similar to like following. Just now you're going to set the time for when does the calendar. When is the basically you're setting the time for when the webinar starts. So then the countdown clock is counting down to when the calendar starts, right? And so we set the time here today on this one, we said 1 p.m. PST. And on what date are we doing this on? Well, we are doing this on the 3rd month, 8th day in the 2018 year, okay? So boom. There you go. So now it's counting down to 1 o'clock Pacific time, Thursday the 8th, from when I'm creating this. Now, what are we going to type in here for what we're going to show homeowners? Well, you're going to be basically, you want to be you want to be typing in what they're going to learn on the webinar, right? So like I shared in the ClickFunnels walkthrough, you can do a repeat of the subject, the title of the webinar itself, okay? And just simply repeating them, which helps a lot. But we're going to show you how to sell your East Side home for top dollar. Seven costly mistakes homeowners. We're seeing homeowners make that steal equity out of their pocket. Bam, bam, bam. All right. I don't want that bolded. Oh, man. So check this out. So I made it all. Let me see. If I can do this. What color is that? Nope. Okay. So see how this is a different color, and for some reason it's not letting me bold or unbold. I'm going to go back to that, and I'm just going to back click to that very first letter and start typing from there so it stays the same font and color. 7 costly mistakes we're seeing homeowners make that steal equity out of their pocket. Okay. And I'm just going off the content that we're presenting in the webinar. If you're wondering where I'm getting this from, this is the outline for the actual home seller webinar. 2 pricing mistakes that agents often make. 2 pricing mistakes agents not specializing in the East Side market. 2 pricing mistakes made by agents not specializing in the East Side market. There's a friendly way of saying that, right? As we're pre-framing them to learn that content, which you probably remember from week 1. And then the one thing you need to know the one thing you need to know about your home in order to sell for top dollar. Not 1 in 100 homeowners knows this. What we're talking about there is the home selling score, which you're again going to be then showing them in the call to action, and the whole point of the webinar is to pre-frame the value of knowing the home selling score, as you remember, right? And then leading up to that, and then you're establishing the fact that there's something they get called a home selling score, that they want to score 85% or better in order to know that their odds are in their favor to sell for top dollar. But you're not going to say that on this registration page because they don't know what the heck a home selling score is, right? And they haven't sat through the educational webinar with you just yet. So you're going to say the one thing you need to know about your home in order to sell for top dollar. Not 1 in 100 homeowners knows this. Okay, what is that? Well, it's the home selling score, right? So here we are again now with this content, with the warning area. East side home owners are making, oh, we'll say it this way. If you're selling in the next, no, because I want to do it right here. Avoid 7 costly mistakes that steal equity out of your pocket. If you're selling in the next 6 to 12 months, please be sure to protect your equity and get top dollar. We're seeing a lot of local homeowners leave money on the table. No homeowner wants that, do they? Should be a pretty universally appealing message. Okay. I'll bold that too. Okay, all right. If you're selling in the next 6 to 12 months, this is for you. So claim your spot below. Yes, claim my spot. Okay, all right. Copyright 2018. I don't put legal information on mine. I'm not saying to or not to, but I'm saying for the sake of just getting this up and running, you can just backspace through that. And then after you've done all this, look at that, wham, bam, we've created this entire page, right? And again, it took what, 10 minutes, maybe? Maybe I'm not keeping track of time really well. Click publish. And here's your long URL. Again, just like with the ClickFunnels walkthrough, gives you your business name and then their subdomain URL and then home seller webinar. So this is your link now that you could use to send people to this webinar to register for your webinar, right? If that makes sense. So, and then I'll show you in future sessions how to reset it to where you can use a custom URL. Okay. All right. Now, really quickly, what we want to do too is we want to make sure that we edit the pop-up box that's going to pop up when somebody clicks on one of these buttons, right? All right, and so we're looking at this landing page here, right, that we've just been working on, and what you're going to do to edit the actual box that people will click on, and with the pop-up that's going to pop up is you're going to click on the button that you want to edit. You're going to then click on the hyperlink here, right, and it says My Lead Box 1, and what you're going to do is you're going to click View Edit, and so then you're going to be able to type in. So you're going to say almost there. Please complete this form to gain access to the workshop. Enter your email address to reserve your free seat. All right, input your call to action. yes, I want to sell for top dollar. Okay, there you go. And so now you've updated the pop-up box that they're going to see. All right, and then after you're done doing this, all you got to do is click the. All you got to do that is then just click update button. And then you should be good. And then after that, you can click the X right up in here. So close that out. And then you can click view page to see the updated version of the page. And then you click on that and you should see the changes that you made. Okay. All right. And what you want to do is you want to scroll down and you want to test the other button. Okay. And you can see that the changes have been made there as well. So the changes are been made across both buttons. And so there you go. Now you have created your first webinar registration page, invite page. Okay. Now, what's a little bit different about lead pages is that it doesn't automatically then create the next page, the confirmation page. It doesn't create in terms of like just giving you pre-built funnel steps the way ClickFunnels does. So we're gonna have to go back out. Okay, we've got that page now. And now what we want to do is we need to be able to create, thanks for that pop-up there, lead pages. Now what we need to do is we need to be able to create a confirmation page. Okay, so create new lead page. We have a pretty simple confirmation page here, double option but what I would do is I would type in confirmation, click enter. Okay. And so what they do here is that they give you two different options, a simple one and a larger one. I would just go for the simpler one, click use template. I would say home seller webinar confirmation will be the name, start building. Okay. What you're going to put in is you would obviously put your logo up in here if you had it. Okay. Since I'm not using any sort of logo, I'm just going to go ahead and close that out. Thank you. You're all set. I would say you're all registered. That's it. That's it. You're in. That's it. You're in. You've registered for the free online workshop, how to sell your East Side home for top dollar without making 7 costly mistakes that steal equity out of your pocket. Okay, I want to do that right here. I want to make that bold so people can kind of see the title again. You don't need this here, obviously, right? Because this is a little bit different. So what I would do is because you don't need them to really, you're not asking them to sign up for an account or anything like that. So go ahead and close that out. I would do the countdown clock again. I think that'd be fun just to remind them that it's going to be happening. So I would drop that into there. Again, give them the time and date that it's going to be happening. So 1 p.m. PST. And there you go. Now it's going to be counting down. Okay. And if you want to, actually, what might be cool is to really actually bring it above the fold. Okay, that's not behaving the way I wanted it to. I'm trying to get that. There we go. That's what I wanted. Just like that. Thank you. You're all registered. And then I would also add in just a headline area. Okay, I don't know why that's not working. I would add in a headline area where you can just, again, recap the date. Okay, so something like this. Save the date. Save the date. Okay, and it would be March 8th. I'll say Thursday, March 8th, 1 p.m. PST. And that doesn't need to be in bold. Okay, so something like that. And so there you go. And so that's how you would create just the page itself. That would be the confirmation page that folks would see after they register for your webinar. Okay, and then again, here you want to just update some of the information to be accurate. Okay, click publish. And there's that URL that you now have. Now, what I would do is I would go and view that page just to make sure they looked good in my frame, look good in my landing, on the internet, just in a browser. I'm in Google Chrome myself, but it should be working just fine. So there you have it, okay? Now what you're gonna do is you're going to go back out to where all your pages are at. Okay, now you have these two pages. You have the webinar page and you have the home seller webinar confirmation page, okay? And what you're gonna do is you want to go view the page. You want to take that URL and you want to copy it. Okay, so Command C or Control C, depending whether you're on a Mac or on a PC. So you have that copied. Okay, and now you're going to go to you're going to click on the edit for the home seller webinar page. Okay. Because what you need to do is you need to create what happens after people enter their email address, right? So they click on this, right? But then what happens after they enter their email address, right? Then what happens? Into your Lead Pages account. Okay, and then you're going to click next for fields. Typically, Lead Pages templates are set up with just the email address without the name. I like to include a first name, so I would click that. Okay, first name. So we're going to have first name, but if you notice, first name is below the email address. That's kind of odd, so we want to drag it. We want to click this. We want to click it, and there we go. So you want to be able to get email above. No, now it backfired. There we go. Now you want first name above email, so that on the form itself over here, the first name is above email. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to click Next Actions, and you're just going to say after they enter the information, where are you going to send these people, right? So there's a default Lead Pages thank you page. Or there's a lead page that you can send them to, right? Which is already pre-populated in here. That's good to see. Or an external URL. So you can either enter the URL of the landing page that you created that was the confirmation page in there, which is probably the most guaranteed way to get the URL to work properly. The other way you should be able to if you named it in a way where you remember what it is, you should be able to just select the page that you want to send people to. Okay. So for example, then it's lead page, home seller webinar, and you're not going to worry about mailing people anything. And you're going to click save and done. Got it? Okay. So then what's going to happen is you're going to exit out of this. And then I want you to be able to go and preview the page. It's going to bring up this preview. You're going to click the box. You're going to type in your name. And boom, your funnel is working, right? At least for the registration part. And that is how you set up the webinar invite and confirmation page inside Lead Pages. And again, I will show you in the future how to integrate that. In the next few lectures, I'll show you how to integrate that with your webinar tool of choice, so that those two tools, so that when they're registering through this page, they actually also get added to your scheduled webinar.